Hello YouTube and people of the interwebs, welcome back to what I know will be a controversial and widely debated video idea and topic. Today I will discuss why fans often fail to connect and love Chris Chibnall's Doctor Who. Now, before any complaints, part 3 of The Genius Writing of Insert Showrunner's Name here will be out soon. This video is not a replacement. Now, I want to make it very explicitly clear, I do not hate Chris Chibnall. I do not dislike any of the current TARDIS team, nor do I take issue with Jodie Whittaker being the actor to play the 13th Doctor. In fact, I may be in the minority, but I really am enjoying the current take on the show. Not as much as prior ones, but I still think it's very entertaining. I thoroughly enjoyed Series 12, even the controversial Timeless Children. But, although I and many others love this era, there is still an overwhelming amount of Whovians, Doctor Who fans, who hate it. Here's why I think Chris Chibnall has a problem with Doctor Who. I'll cast your mind back to 2017. It was a warm summer's afternoon when the entire Whovian community were waiting with bated breath for the announcement of the 13th Doctor. Who was it going to be? Chris Marshall, Sacha Dhawan, with publishers such as The Sun even claiming it would be Billie Piper of all people. Well, these were all proved wrong, and in a move that no one saw coming, we were introduced to our first female Doctor, Jodie Whittaker of Broadchurch fame. This casting choice was a bold one, which faced much scrutiny. However, most Whovians were optimistic and ready for a soft reboot of sorts for the franchise, ready for a new take on the show, and so were the general public. After Series 10's viewing figures had dropped to record-level lows, this radical change was exactly what Doctor Who needed. A fresh chance. With most fans and general public on board, what could possibly go wrong? Now, we skip to October 7th, 2018, Series 11, Episode 1, entitled The Woman Who Fell to Earth is ready to premiere. A whole new chance for the show. A way of bringing in new viewers of all ages. 8.9 million people tuned in to watch. This is a record since the David Tennant era, which is more than impressive for TV in the modern day. But this episode was met with a variety of response, from love to meh, which is the category I fall into, to absolute hatred. But so far, Chibnall had done nothing wrong. He hadn't really made any mistakes. As Series 11 continued, the viewers dropped off consistently, and people became bored and unfulfilled by the lack of any old monsters or enemies. Daleks and Cybermen, the Master, replaced by Tim Shaw.
Tim Shaw?
Tim Shaw.
Tim Shaw?
Tim Shaw.
And the Pating.
You're just making sounds now.
The lack of familiarity and complete makeover of the show was Chibnall's first and biggest mistake. The audience were bored already, and there had only been 10 episodes. This wasn't really a great first impression. But on New Year's Day we were treated to a Dalek in the episode Resolution. But sadly this episode was barely promoted, nor was it put in any good slot for viewing figures, as it received a staggeringly low, rough viewing figure of 4.8 million. Another issue I have with Chibnall's writing is his unnecessary political one-liners, such as, "I've had an upgrade." Now, don't get me wrong, Doctor Who has always been extremely political, as evidenced by the Daleks' blatant similarities to Nazis, Cybermen and their links to communism, and one-off aliens like the Slitheen. But in today's political climate, there is absolutely no need to antagonise the audience. At the end of the day, as Stephen Moffat once rightly pointed out in an interview, Doctor Who is a show for everyone, and cheap political messages and speeches, as seen in Orphan 55, only alienate the audience and give people a reason to attack and complain about the show. After the dust had settled and rage had somewhat calmed in most parts of the fandom, we had to wait a long time for Series 12, which I assume is down to no fault of Chris Chibnall. Sadly, many people had just given up after Series 11, and they weren't willing to give the new series a try. Then, January 1st, 2020, we were treated to the masterful, see what I did there, episode Spyfall Part 1. For myself and many others, this was a marked and noticeable improvement on the prior season. It seemed to be a genius blend of Russell T Davies and Stephen Moffat's styles of Doctor Who, with just enough unique personality to make it its own thing. Despite having a few minor flaws such as the previous "I've had an upgrade" line, the episode was fantastic, with a brilliant unseen twist of Sacha Dhawan's master appearing at the end of the episode, who gave a phenomenal performance. Series 12 continued with good stories and a better Doctor, well, that is, excluding Orphan 55.
Benny. 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 Benny.
The writing and plot had still improved, yet for some reason people still hated on the show. People still complained and shouted and refused to watch. But why? Among a variety of reasons, once again, it was the issue of needless and on-the-nose moments, such as the speech in Orphan 55.
Did you know that it was Earth? Just before you did.
Oh my God, I was wrong. It was Earth all along.
Which intensely irritated viewers. But surely they, like I do, could overlook such small details. What was stopping them? Well, I personally believe it to be the media, and YouTube channels which I shall not name, who pull in thousands, in some case millions of viewers from hating on the show and mindlessly complaining. The writing had definitely improved. Similar to the classic series and Sylvester McCoy's final run as the Doctor, it seemed too little, too late. One of the other major departures from Moffat and Davies' Who is the lack of character development. Now, not to say that there is none, but with the crowded TARDIS, which is really not helped by the constant, seemingly ever-growing sidecast, it is near impossible to show their emotional journeys and distinguish or remember them as individuals. In one series alone, we got to understand everything and grow to love companions such as Bill Potts and Donna Noble or Martha Jones, even Rose Tyler, the list goes on. Yet, we are here after 2 whole series of Yasmin Khan, and what exactly makes her stand out from the rest? What shows us, the audience, that Yaz is a character we should care for? Sure, she definitely improves in Series 12, yes, but as she does, both Ryan and Graham lose their characters. What is the point in them? They seem to hinder the Doctor rather than help her. Also, unlike companions like Rose or Clara, they haven't swooped in and saved the Doctor. They don't seem to have a believable motivation for travelling. Their motives are only briefly picked up on in Series 11, Episode 4. Then they seem to be forgotten again, as there's too much going on. Too many characters to keep up with. Episode 5, Fugitive of the Jadoon, brought back more love for the show than I've seen in a long, long time. An intriguing mystery which was lacking from the prior season, and the return of fan favourite Captain Jack Harkness. The episode also introduced us to Ruth, who, seemingly a normal tour guide from Gloucestershire, played by the wonderful Joe Martin, turned out to be another unknown incarnation of the Doctor. But from where? I personally loved this mystery, but for the common and average general audience, such as many people in my family, It left them scratching their heads, wondering what the hell they just watched and what the hell just happened. In doing so, Chibnall alienates his newfound fresh audience from Series 11, which is really not a brilliant move. Furthering on from this, Series 12 is such a dramatic departure from Series 11, having almost too many returning monsters and characters, which, without being a long-term fan, would just baffle the audience. We had the Master, Captain Jack Harkness, Jadoon, Cybermen, another couple or hundred of Doctors, Time Lords, Time Lord Cybermen, and the Lone Cyberman, all in the space of 10 episodes. Now, I loved this, as I think Chibnall's writing is definitely at its best when dealing with classic villains, but it's a massive shift from Series 11, definitely wiping out any new viewership that the show had picked up. The series continued with average to mediocre episodes like Praxeus and Can You Hear Me, until we eventually reached the finale, The Timeless Children. A twist which I can only liken to the Doctor Who equivalent of Star Wars The Last Jedi. I personally don't hate the fact that the Doctor is the Timeless Child, and is what formed Gallifreyan society as we know it. I can cast that out of my mind and not let it affect my whole view on the show. I see its flaws and I see why some may hate it, but personally, I can cope. I don't mind it. But the single biggest problem with Chibnall's Doctor Who is that arc, the Timeless Children arc. What exactly was the point? Why did this revelation need to happen? Although it doesn't affect me or my view on the show, I can see from an outside perspective that this is not a good move and would infuriate thousands of fans. The reveal doesn't actually benefit or change anything of the show in a positive way. It seems to act like a shock simply for the sake of a shock. Why is it necessary? No one ever really wanted or asked for backstory to the Doctor. It doesn't affect me, but equally, it doesn't make me happy. It doesn't add anything. There's seemingly no need. It seems as though Chris did this simply for fun, not in the name of good storytelling. This is, unless Series 13, Revolution of the Daleks and other such stories will expand and justify this concept. Maybe they will. Maybe they won't.
Who knows, eh? Who knows?
In conclusion, if you've stopped watching Doctor Who, give it a go. It's not perfect, it definitely needs improving, but it's far, far from the train wreck that YouTube makes it out to be. It's a shame that the Timeless Child reveal irritated many viewers, as they will now all look back on Series 12 in a negative light. To improve, Chris Chibnall needs to slow down and make the political messages far more subtle. He needs to stop with the cheesy one-liners and needs to halt stepping on the Doctor's past, and, importantly, he must lose a few companions and sidecast, focusing on one or two and perfecting their character arcs and tidying up a few plot elements and consistencies in their lives. Go on, Chris.
You're doing it, mate! You'll do it if you keep on trying, and we'll go on trying. We keep trying this, and we'll go on trying till it's done.